September 23rd meeting of the Board of the Landings Association. Let me start with noting that all of the board members are present. Kevin is on remotely, and hello, Kevin. And we have one guest, which is Lisa Olson, who was a regular attendee, but has indicated, at least as of now, she has nothing to speak about.
As of now.
As of now.
How unusual.
All right, I'd like a motion to approve the consent agenda and the minutes that are in your packet. May I have such a motion? Second. All in favor? All right. Moving on to reports from Mr. Lassner from the Landings Golf and Athletic Club.
Hello, everyone. Sorry. Tony Marino said he really enjoyed it, so thanks for looking after him. Just a few notes, all good ones, I say, from the club standpoint. The club's next board meeting is tomorrow, Wednesday, September 24th, full agenda, and it includes, as part of the meeting, a club tradition, where we invite all the past presidents to attend, and then we socialize, go out and play golf. So we're looking forward to that. Great group of people. The club recently announced our 5 excellent candidates for our board for next year. We need four of the 5 to be elected. Emily Kuchar, Jeff Tachi, Steve Sample, Frank Wood, and Paul Sampson. So if you see them around town, please encourage them and ask them good questions about what they would like to do with our club. Our emphasis continues on the various areas that you heard from me before. Community cooperation is very high up there, and we're having a meeting this Friday, the Community Council, and our agenda continues to grow. In a good way, all right? We keep finding things to talk about. And Patty, I just counted up the agenda you sent to me. There's 22 items on the agenda. So you can imagine, the discussion time that we take. And it's all good, so there's a lot of good things to work on, right? The club recently held a volunteer appreciation evening. That was just last week. And we socialized with members from Skidaway Audubon. So there's hundreds and hundreds of our neighbors who volunteer there. We couldn't invite everyone, but we invited the leadership, and that went well, and the Landings Garden Club. And it's just an amazing community when it comes to volunteering, so we just try to thank them that it makes a big difference for the club. Financial condition of the club is always an important topic, and we remain strong in all categories, so I won't recite numbers to you, but the member results are on budget across categories. Our financial results are exceeding their budgets, so it's really interesting. Our CFO has already said he will exceed budget. I don't know how he knows that. I mean, it's only September, but he's promised we'll exceed budget by $100,000. So that's a lot of money. Like I said, membership, we're ahead of last year. I will mention 2 numbers. Last year we were at 3,403 members, and right now we sit at 3,429 members. So, and that's mainly in golf. Tennis is sliding a little bit. Let's see what else to have. Club inflation. So our inflation is. We're all experiencing inflation right in our homes, etc. So the club is no different, and so we continue to experience inflation in the food and beverage area, mainly now in the food area, not so much beverage, and in our golf course maintenance supplies. So we're experiencing way above the 2 point whatever it is that we all hear about in the news, and so that's going to be something we need to figure out for our dues next year. We're looking at. Major projects are on budget and on schedule. Oak Ridge Golf Course, everyone's getting very excited about getting out there. probably third week in October is when we expect that to open. Weather, as long as the weather keeps cooperating. Franklin Creek campus renovation is on budget and on schedule. If you're a bocce player, I think you'd be pretty happy. That's where the first changes have occurred. New lights, some new furniture there, and that's the first wave of Franklin Creek. There will be a lot of disruption over the next 6 to 9 months, so bear with the club. It will be for the better over time. Okay, if you can drive a golf cart over there rather than a car, just to not take up so much space. And I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has about any aspect of the club.
Mark, thank you very much. Moving on, new business. Carl.
Okay, we have our network penetration testing kickoff meeting next Wednesday, working with a vendor that the club has been happy with, so we're looking forward to that. And when I talked to Jesse over the club, he said they will terrify you with what they find, but it's all good. So we look forward to being terrified by what they find and making some adjustments as we need to. So the other one is we had our kickoff meeting today for our workshop with TopTal on working with our app. So Tim, Jessica, and Lynn, there's Lynn over there, and I attended that. They're working through what we want to see on the app and working up the scope of timelines and costs and that kind of stuff. We have some more. We talked to them first yesterday, more today, some more tomorrow. So we're working through it. Interestingly, they as well, just like we did with our communications committee's personas, to try to figure out, okay, let's take a typical resident and a typical vendor and work through what are they trying to accomplish and what does that look like. So we're excited to keep moving forward with that. So we'll have something for the board here in the next couple of weeks to look at as we continue doing that. So continue to make some progress on that we're happy about. I think those are the two things I wanted to highlight there. Unless anybody has any questions. Jessica, for the monthly financials, I heard the gauntlet thrown down of doing $100,000 better than budget for this year. I don't know where we're
Congratulations.
I wasn't trying to be cute. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'll pretend I'm Bill Bynum now, all right?
Okay, yes.
All right, we'll talk about our financial information. That starts on page 16 as of the end of August. And if we could stop right here, then we would beat you, but we're not there yet. So total cash at the end of August equaled 6.2 million, total investments 9.6 million. We earned $49,000 of interest between our operating and capital reserve accounts during the month of August. Operating revenue performed $471,000 better than budget, and operating expenses before depreciation performed $250,000 more than our budget projected. That brought us to a net revenue over expense before depreciation of $210,000 at the end of August, which is $221,000 better than our budget had projected. Some of the main drivers for that better than budget on the vehicle registration, annual registrations performing better than budget, our architectural review fees performing better than budget. Rental income is due to a loss of carrier from our Crown Castle lease earlier this year. And in the other category, there was a property that had a large violation earlier this year, and also our Comcast revenue share performing better than budget. We did receive our first payment from Live Oak Fiber for the royalty commissions from the second quarter of 2025. On the expense side, our IT support is performing better than budget, mainly due to timing for the database transition. That work continues. Engineering studies is also a timing variance between the studies performed and budget. Repair and maintenance performing more than our budget due to forklift repairs and repairs to our seawall from damages incurred last year from Hurricane Helene. Professional fees, there were professional fees that were related also to the violation that I mentioned. On the revenue side, that's performing more than budget. And our staffing expenses, we have 2 departments, Public Works and Security, that are budgeted at 90%, and that's driving the majority of our more than budget on staffing expenses. Total capital reserve expenditures at the end of August equaled $3.2 million out of a $5.8 million budget. 57% were spent on roads, 21% on storm drains, 15% on bridges, structures, and equipment, 5% on community paths, and 1% each on lagoons and marinas. There have been several projects completed throughout 2025, and of those projects that have been completed, we are currently at $60,000 better than the budget projected. Like I said, of those that have been completed so far. Members' equity at the end of August equaled $15.3 million, which is an increase of $2.5 million since the beginning of 2025. And as of today, we have 18 non-assessment accounts that have a past due balance, and we have 7 assessment accounts that have a past due balance as well. One of the 7 assessment accounts has a closing date of September 26th, and 2 of the 3 that are placed with our collection attorney are enrolled in a payment plan with Novak Howard. I have an update for our budget process. We are continuing to work through that process. We met with the board last week. I'm going to meet with the board again tonight in executive session. And so we will soon be scheduling our budget liaison meetings so that we can continue forward. There will also be a reserve subcommittee meeting. And by the finance committee meeting, which is October 20th, and all of the board directors will be invited to that. That will be where the budget liaisons will share what they learned within each of their departments that they reviewed. We also had a water rate committee meeting yesterday. Coming to your mailbox soon, there will be a notification from Utilities Inc. The rate increase will be 0.56%. And that's across all tiers, so that will be in your latest. It will be in your October bill of that notification.
All right, any questions for Jessica? Thank you.
Aaron.
Yep.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here to present to you the community development activity for August of 2025. Let's get started. We'll talk about permits issued. Again, another month of high permits. 131 versus 103 the same time last year. So far this year, we have already exceeded the total permits issued in 2020, and we're on our way to exceed 2023. So. In terms of what we're having go in front of ARC, we had 52 applications in front of the committee last month, with 27 the same time this last year. We are expecting to exceed the activity that we had last year and the previous year, so 23 and 24. We expect that this year we'll have reviewed more applications than both of those years as well. In terms of our construction activity, we had 2 new homes complete, so that's 8 for year to date. We didn't have any new homes break ground this month. But we do have a total of 17 active construction sites. We had 4 major improvements, 90 minor improvements, 27 of those dumpsters, pods, and porta-johns, indicating interior work, and then 10 permit extensions. Now, as a follow-up to some inquiries that we had last month, we took a closer look to see where in the community those major improvements and new construction activity were occurring. So this is from January of 2025 to end of August. And you can see that the majority of the additions and outdoor living features were in Marshwood and Palmetto, which you can see here indicated by Marshwood and Palmetto out of the total. Now we wanted to take a look and see, as far back as we've had things entered into CitizenServe, if we could look and see if that trend was consistent year over year. So this is from January of 2024 year to date, and you can see the same thing. Marshwood, Palmetto are actually in the lead for the area where those additions and outdoor living features are being, where the majority of the work is occurring. Another thing that I might note is that Palmetto actually has more new construction activity over the last 2 years than any of the other phases of development. So When most people think that all the new construction is in Moon River, that's simply not the case. When we look at our private property maintenance violations, they are a little bit lower than this time last year. I did note that last month's meeting that that was partially because we had a new inspector start in the month of July. So we'll probably see some leveling off of that over the next couple of months. So we had 17 versus 33 in 2024. In terms of courtesy notices, kind of a similar trend, 14 versus 32 in 2024. Our summary of inspection activity, we had 302 site visits that were related to ARC inspections, 681 proactive property inspections, and 77 follow-ups or re-inspections of properties that are already in violation. We had 18 properties resolved, which was 82% of them without formal written notice. So those were either through courtesy notices or initial contact. Our summary of violations observed, kind of typical. Landscape is at 41%, being the lion's share, followed by home maintenance at 27%, then driveways with damage and maintenance at 21%, and 11% related to ARC. We did not have any hazardous trees in violation last month. Any questions?
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks. Tim, security reports. Thanks, Aaron.
All right, so an overview of security department statistics for August and a few year to date. Part 1 crimes went down for the year from 3 to 2. Burglaries and thefts went up 3 to 4. Vandalism 0 to 2, and trespass 3 to 1. The two burglaries or two Part 1 crimes that happened in August, where we had a burglary, significant amount of jewelry was stolen. Trying to narrow the time frame down, probably between April and June. So a lot of activity at that particular house. So CCPD is looking at that. And then we had theft of packages left on the doorstep. So those were the two Part 1 crimes. Vandalism, we had some air raiders damaging the kids' fishing lagoon. And then we had individual out here in the athletic field doing some donuts in the golf cart. So we traced that golf cart back. It did not have a TLA decal. From our cameras, it looked like it was on the south end of the island. That's all I'll say. And then trespass, we did have a contractor on property that left her contractor site, went over to the club. The club called us from the deck. We went over there, responded, called CCPD, and a no trespass order was issued against her. Golf cart statistics, again, you can see there, down from 3 to 1, violations increased from 0 to 8, and unlicensed driver 4, so the overall violations, 4 of those were unlicensed drivers. The other ones were no cart zone, we had 3 violations in that, and 1 unregistered cart. Citations overview, again, as we continue to see throughout the year, 2014, 15 citations versus 57 in 2025, and $1,000 in fine versus $35.50 in fines. As you'll notice on here, one of the citations that we did issue was for speeding, 48 miles in a 35, and that was a handheld LiDAR unit that we used to capture that. Because the LiDAR, the Guardian Pro system was still out of commission. Thankfully, again, kudos to Michael. He really stayed on top of them. They went back and forth with equipment and stuff like that. And we finally redeployed the Guardian Pro unit. It's out there now collecting data and speeding fines.
And talk about the one we just had to deal with.
Yes, and I don't know if we want to do that in this executive session, but we did
Well, I
have,
think you can, I mean, just don't name names. You
yeah,
can-
so we did have a guest of a member doing 73 or 74 miles an hour. So obviously if we find them, that is a $500 fine. We've talked to the resident. The resident is going to go to the guest. I think it was a younger guest, 20 something, and have him pay for it. Since it was such egregious, we are asking that the board approve a recommendation for driving privileges within the community for 30 days for the guest.
Anybody have any problem with that? Nope. I just figured we'd go ahead and address that.
Okay.
So thank you.
Enough. Appeals in August, the appeals committee heard 5 cases, if you recall, unlicensed driver, and you can read all of them were denied. The violation and the fine was upheld. So unlicensed driver, 3 of them, a stop sign, again, a golf cart running a stop sign, and tree on property overnight. Any questions?
Yes.
Going back to that speeding again, so 74 on where? Was it in the 30 or 35?
35.
35.
All right.
Bang's way south.
Yeah, so it's still about 40 miles over the speed limit.
Yes.
20 miles over the speed limit is reckless driving in
Super
Georgia,
speed.
isn't it?
Yes.
And so what does the state of Georgia do with reckless drivers? Is it a 30-day suspension of your privileges? I mean,
Well, you're gonna spend a night in jail normally
Yeah.
for something like that. I mean, we don't have that capability, but
No, but I'm wondering, is 30-day we're saying a 30-day suspension of that guest's ability to
right,
drive?
yes, of the guest.
Yes.
Right.
And after the 30-day suspension, I guess if the board wanted to, we could revote at the end of 30 days and
Right.
suspend for another 30 days.
Right.
Is the guest here, is the guest here permanently?
No, frequent guests though.
I don't know. It
Is
just
there
seems
no-
that kind of
Yeah.
40 miles over the speed limit, 30-day suspension doesn't seem.
Well, it's the 30-day suspension and the $500 fine.
No,
Yes.
it's still, it'd be a lot worse than,
Is the
Court.
homeowner have no responsibility?
The homeowner does have responsibility, has been very cooperative.
I guess nobody else wants to do anything more than 30 days. Huh? Okay.
All right, thank you. Sean, you have a couple for us, the storm drain phase 2.
Yes, if everyone turn to page 37 in your packets. As promised earlier in the year, we have a second phase of our storm drain work that is focusing on, as we continue to kind of work along the Eastern Marsh, this area will be Country Close and Oyster Reef. This will be a continuation of the contract with Southeast Pipe Survey in the amount of $120,000. This will bring us into a total budget cost of just under the $1 million that we have budgeted. So hopefully we don't have any other storm drain failures throughout the rest of this year because we will be, with this project, utilizing up the rest of the budget. We're planning to start this work in mid-October. A lot of what we are still continuing to find in this area is a lot of corrugated pipe that is in very poor condition. And again, we're focusing kind of the marsh back, working back from kind of those tidal areas. So when you have metal pipes that are located in highly acidic soils and constantly twice a day inundated with salt water, we have to address those in a pretty quick manner. If anyone doesn't have any questions, I would look for approval for a contract extension with Southeast Pipe Survey in the amount of $120,000 to complete the phase 2 of this year's 2025 storm drain repair and
I
lining
have a
project.
motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next time.
Thank you.
You South Coast Logging.
Yes, so with South Coast Logging, you'll see there is an addendum, I believe, in the packet.
I didn't include.
You didn't include it? Okay, we do have an addendum for their contract. We'll be changing our pricing structure to match the distance traveled with the new, closure of the IP properties. Allenhurst, I always get the two confused, but it's about 90 miles away versus Savannah and just south of us, which is another 40 miles between the two. So we've worked with Southeast Coastal Logging. They've been able to adjust their pricing. The biggest challenge is obviously they used to be able to do about 2 to 3 runs a day with their truckers. It's going to be 1, and then the longer distances make it a challenge too. So we're going to continue to monitor that. The addendum identifies a new price structure, which will offset some of the additional costs. We still will be anywhere between $25 and $50 per load cheaper than some of the competition in Savannah. And that's kind of a short-term solution right now to be able to get in and get some of the material collected here for some of the contractors, such as land clearing with house development, tree removal. If anyone's got any pricing recently on tree work, the costs have just been exponentially increased because there is nowhere to take the debris other than landfill or if you have 100 acres out in western Georgia somewhere, where I've heard some of these people have been taking it. So this will get us back open. We'll start selling tickets at the North Gate tomorrow. The the tree company's already heard that the board will be discussing this today, so they were already up at the lot chopping at the bit to get in. So we told them, as soon as the board makes action, we can start selling tickets tomorrow.
May I have a motion to approve the new proposal? Work.
So moved.
Second. And Sean, this is the additional fees that we also talked about last week, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All in favor, any other questions for Sean? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, Larry, phase 4.
Randy, hold on a second.
Can I go back to the question of I'm thinking about what Don was saying. Is the person not allowed here for 30 days, or they're not allowed to drive?
They're not allowed to drive.
Why are we allowing them here for 30 days? If they're,
Well, if we want to have more discussion on that, let's
Oh,
hold
okay.
that.
okay.
Larry,
Page 39 of your packet is recommending the approval for phase 4, the final phase of the dry stack project, in the amount of $863,379. That includes $25,000 contingency. We plan to start phase 4 immediately after phase 3, which sometime between January 15th and February 1st. We'll roll right into phase 4 with the projected completion date sometime mid to late April.
Can I have a motion to approve the 863,379 for phase 4? Second. Any further questions or discussion for Larry? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
All right, board committees and special reports. Rosemary, Finance Committee.
No, we're just waiting to get the liaisons moving and looking forward to that.
Ms. Marion, Governance.
Governance, page 41, you'll see minor changes to our rules and regs, one dealing with cycling groups. We made an addition which excludes residents and house guests from a certain requirements regarding groups of cyclists. We also added in the board policy manual, we added a change to our committee structure such that one of the board committees now will have an addition of a government affairs committee, subject to development of the charter and appointment of the members. And that is it on governance. I would be happy to move. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, just looking for a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second. Any further questions or discussions for Marion on those two changes? They technically are minor changes in my opinion, but two changes. All in favor? Any objections? All right. That moves on to, we have a nominating committee for board officers, and it's the president's appointment, and my proposal is I will appoint the three of us who are outgoing board members, that is Kevin and Rosemary and myself, to that committee. And what we do is we interview all current board members, or continuing board members, and the three board members who will be elected in October to get their expression of an interest relative to committees and officer assignment interests. So currently those dates, I think, are the 15th and 25th of October when we are looking to interview. So if you want to put that on your calendar, I will confirm those dates and get them out. But we are looking to meet with you at certain times on those two dates to get your expressions of interests. So I think that takes care of nominating committee for board officers. That turns us to strategic water, Rob.
Did you say the 27th?
15th and 20th?
25th.
The 25th is a Saturday.
Oh, okay, then it's the 27th. It's the day before the board meeting.
Oh,
For some reason, I was thinking the
Yeah,
board
I
meeting
didn't
was
think
the.
we wanted to meet
Okay,
on
no,
Saturday.
it's the day before the board meeting. Sorry.
Okay, well, for water, we did meet this month. Some good news to share. We've had a lot of rainfall, people are aware of that, but our average daily pumping data for the 12 months rolling is down again. We will end the year comfortably below 2% reduction from prior year, which is already over and above a 4% from the prior year before that. We reached a new high for residents' use of Ion Water. We're now over 2,000 members on the island that are using it. And our sales of smart controller systems and the amount of heavy users defined as greater than 40,000 gallons a month, is declining. So the work that we're doing towards conservation seems to be working. That's good news. Regarding sea level rise, we now have 84 members. 63 are trained to use the app. The golf course individuals for measuring the marsh hole courses are in line. People have their assignments. We have a couple more training sessions and we're set to go for November 6th. So.
Thank you very much. Any other directors' comments, questions before I do a quick rundown of the president's report? Okay. First of all, I wanted to note that we have had continuing cooperation with the island entities looking to adherence of rules, particularly as they relate to driving, fishing, stop signs, and all of those good things. We seem to be working well together to try and make our community a little safer. We have had support from both the club and the association trying to get volunteers to help sign up to be security volunteers. That was something that existed pre-COVID, and we're looking to put it back. They will help answer phone calls and do such things as when we have charitable events, help kind of coordinate traffic, etc. We have had coordination and assistance from the club relative to the repaving of the association cart path in Oak Ridge, using the club cart path as a detour, and all of these cooperations help our community as a whole. So we thank everyone for cooperating. A special thanks to everyone who attended the meet and greet for the association board candidates for next year. It was a well-received event. Now, it's important that everybody, however, goes out and votes. So we want everyone to make sure they cast their ballot and we have a good turnout. A special thank you to Rob and to Clark Alexander, the director and professor at the UGA Skidaway Institute, who's been there, he said, 37 years. For his presentation earlier today on sea level rise. The association is working with the county academic institution and others to assure resiliency for our island. The Guardian Pro camera, as Tim indicated, has been repaired from the vandalism and has been redeployed, and the association is and will continue to pursue action against any and all vandals. We continue to work on culling of deer, and the additional USDA representative has been added and has started earlier this month. Please bear with us as we work to improve gate access reliability. We are focusing on hardware and software and minimizing the impact of such things as lightning. But what we cannot stop is stupid and dangerous behavior where residents intentionally blow through our gates and destroy our gate access facilities. That is just not acceptable. In the years past, as I noted, we had this vibrant group of security volunteers, which we are trying to reestablish. If anyone is interested, please apply. And last but not least, the TLA senior staff had a drop-in earlier this month attended by 23 residents with very productive discussions and follow-up to the questions raised. The next one is a board drop-in for October 28th. And that takes care of my president's report. Anything else before we adjourn to executive session? Thanks one and all. I have a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor? Any objections?